Liz from French Toast and Books, and today I realized I have not done my March wrap-up video. So I'm going to combine my March and April wrap-up to let you know what books I've read these past 2 months. So the first book I finished in the month of March is The Beautiful Miscellaneous by Dominic Smith. This is about a boy named Nathan who gets in a car accident when he was 17 years old and wakes up with the ability to see sounds. This is a type of synesthesia, and this allows his memory to be greatly enhanced and puts him into a specialty school where they get to study his brain. As much as he wanted to be that genius that makes his father proud, he was dreading these new memory capabilities and just how it affects his life in being seen as somebody different than other people, that I really just enjoyed how this story makes Nathan's life evolve. So I gave this book a 4 out of 5. The second book I read in March was Coexist by Julia Crane. Now, I really wanted to read this book because I love Julia Crane's iFix series so much that I wanted to read more of her work. Coexist is about a girl named Keegan who is an elf, and there's this huge prophecy that pits the light and dark elves against each other in this huge final battle. Now, Keegan is only 16, so she is not allowed to know who her betrothed is. But her brother tells her his name because he believes that they are pivotal in the end of this light versus dark battle. However, I was not a huge fan of this story. I felt like it was really predictable, it had stupid teen drama, and it played a lot of those kind of clueless girl, overprotective boyfriend type roles that I just don't find appealing anymore in young adult reads. So I only gave it a 2 out of 5 stars. The third book I read is Canaries on the Rim, Living Downwind in the West by Chip Ward. Now, as you can tell, I have tabbed this book a lot because I read it for my eco-psychology class. This book is about the author, Chip Ward, who kind of is one of those just stand by, go with the flow type of guys. He was originally from the East Coast in New Jersey, but then moves to Utah to kind of see what the West is all about. And in that, he finds that the people of Grantsville, Utah are being poisoned by the industry there, and he decides to do something about it so that his kids are not affected. And so he becomes this big activist, and it has a lot of really interesting Utah history that you don't really read about. I give it a 3 out of 5 stars only because some of the legal stuff involved in this type of story was a little dry and boring and hard to get through, but everything else was very interesting. Now onto the books I finished in April. We have Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. I give it a 3.75 out of 5 stars. It was so close to a 4, but I really could not stand Arthur Leander. Now, Arthur Leander is a very famous actor in this book where he dies of a heart attack on stage of King Lear, and he is that pivotal character that all other main characters are tied to in one form or another, and it weaves this huge story of how everyone is connected. It talks about Arthur's life, but then it also talks about Kirsten's life. Now, she begins as an 8-year-old actress on the set of King Lear with Arthur. Then 20 years into the future, after the global pandemic called the Georgia flu hits and knocks out all of civilization, and she is still surviving. She's joined a traveling symphony to kind of keep the sanity still there. The next story I finished in April was The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith. Now, this is one of those guilty buys because I spent 4 whole months completing my booktube reading goal, which was not to buy any new books that are not tied to a series I'm already reading until I finish my TBR shelf. And I did not make it. The first week of April, I bought this book. I could not resist. And this story is one of those feels reads. It was hard to read this book because it takes place with a girl named Eden who is raped by her brother's best friend. She's only 14 years old when this encounter happens, and this book follows through the next 4 years of her life, where she is battling with the trauma of her rape and how it affects all of the relationships in her life and also her academic career. I gave it a 4 out of 5. It didn't quite get past that because I felt like with this book spanning such a large expanse of 4 years, it leaves a lot of important details out. So I really love it when I get to find out why publishers pick the types of covers they do, and this dandelion on this cover was such a nice piece to the story. So I definitely recommend this read, and I actually really want to hear other people reading this story and what they think about this story specifically. And so those are the books I read throughout the months of March and April. I would like to know what you felt about any of these books I mentioned in this video. Please let me know in the comments below, and also tell me what your favorite read was for the month of March and April. Thanks for watching, everyone, and goodbye!